So today I'm just doing a review of this launcher I have on my Android phone. This is a Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, and I'm using Niagra Launcher, which is a launcher that has recently come out of beta and is now available. And it's a simplistic launcher, a minimalist launcher, but works really well, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So basically the gist of it, as you can see on my home screen, I've got just a simple list of apps. And if I want to access other apps, I just swipe in from the right, and you see an alphabet appears, and you go to the letter of the app you want to get to, and then you click it. You need to do something else. Oops, let's go back. You get something else, you just, you go back to your home screen, and you're there. So it's pretty simple, but it has a lot of cool sort of customization options to make it work really well for you. So these apps at the top here are favorite apps of mine, and you can choose favorite apps to always show here. But then beneath your favorite apps, these two apps are showing up simply because they're the apps I open the most. And you can have as many favorite apps as you want to have, so you can just have one or two of your favorites, but then have all these others populate based on the apps you use the most. Whatever it finds you're using the most, those are what will show up here. So quick access to anything in this list, which is great. This button is also customizable. By default, it would be a search button so that you could search through apps, but you can set it to be Google, and I love that because I can tap that and go straight into Google, which I tend to go to read news as well as if I'm going to search for something on the web, and so I have easy, quick access to go to the Google app, which is great. At the top here, I have two widgets. Now, that's the most widgets you can have on Niagra Launcher because, again, it's about being simple and simplifying things. And the top widget is a built-in widget. That is your only option, is the built-in widget. And then the bottom widget is a widget of your choice from any of the apps you have installed. I decided to use Folder Organizer, which I've reviewed in the past. I've been using that app for a gazillion years. And by doing that, it gives me access to have shortcuts to some other things I use. Like this is stuff related to my pool. And then this is stuff related to security and cameras, being able to get to those quickly without having to swipe in and go to them. I just have them right there. And this is some camera stuff. It's a camera folder. So, but you can put any widget you want to up there. Oops, sorry about that. Any widget you want to, you can put up there. And then this is a built-in widget, and they have some options for that. And I'm going to show you some of the settings and stuff later. First, I just want to show you how I have mine set up and how it works for me. So you can see it's showing the time, also the date and the current weather, and then the next thing that's on my calendar. Now what I love about this is if you tap that time, it takes you right into your alarm clock. So easy, quick access to your alarm clock. That's pretty smart. And if you tap this is really awesome. It pulls up your agenda. It has weather, and you can scroll to see specific time weather. And this is just built in as part of the Niagra Launcher. And then also you have events and stuff. You can see what's on your agenda, and you can add a new event if you want to. But yeah, really quick access to see what's coming up on your calendar. So I think that's really cool too. Another awesome feature is if you swipe on any app, if you swipe on it, it opens up your shortcuts. So as you know, with Android, one of the newer things in recent versions of Android is having shortcuts like that built in. So you swipe and you get shortcuts. If you swipe on anything, you get the different shortcuts that app has. Now what's really cool, they don't have folders per se, but you can kind of have folders. So if I swipe right on Deal News, look, Amazon Shopping. Well, that's not a shortcut of Deal News. But you see that little pencil icon. If you click that, you can edit and you can choose any other apps to show up when you swipe right on that app. And this does work inside, so if you go to your apps list, your swipe in your apps list, if you swipe right on anything inside this list, it also works inside that list. So really great. Another cool feature, if I swipe right, you can see these are basically in alphabetical order. But let's go to R, for example. R-A and then R-O. Well, R-O, that's not in alphabetical order. Why is that at the top? You'll see in settings, one of the options is to have the apps you opened the most or opened most recently just show up at the top of the list. That way, some apps, in any letter category, some apps you rarely ever open. Other apps you open all the time. And this way, the apps you open all the time are always going to be at the top of the alphabet list. And so that's really a cool extra feature that they have built in there. Now you can see anytime you're in this list, that icon goes from Google to search. And if I click that, now it's a search, and you can search for any app you want to search for. So you start typing, and you see it comes up with the different things that you could be searching for. And some of these results, you're like, wait a second, those aren't just app results, those are other results. And I'll show you why that is in just a second. Now there is a feature where if you swipe down, it opens your notifications. And if you swipe up, it takes you right into search. So that search that you just saw, if you go right into that, and you can see you can search, and it's searching for apps and things. Really easy, really quick way to get there. So that works really, really, really well. I think that's really it for this. Now you can set it. You see me swiping in from right. I can also swipe in from the left and do the same thing. So if you go from the left edge, it also brings up your list of apps as well. And that's pretty much it. Now let's go into the customization screen. Oops. And I'll show you the different settings for Niagra. So features, you've got that Niagra widget. And this is where you see you can have calendar, weather, and then your custom widget, which again, you can only have one. And you can choose whether to show the clock or not. You can show a media widget. You can choose to show the battery percentage, and you can move the widget. So if I click that, you can see I could move this down here, and I can make it shorter or taller. And where you move that affects where this one goes. And this is their built-in one. So you can customize that. Another thing, if you long press on this, you have the option to fill screen, which just makes it go from the entire width of the screen, or resize. And then again, these are all your widget settings. We're going to go back into Niagra settings since I've shown you that. Embed notifications. You do have a way so that you can directly check notifications from your home screen. If an app has notifications, you can swipe right on it and see notifications. I personally prefer just to use the notification drop down, so I don't have that enabled. You can also hide some apps from the list in order to tidy up and not have so many apps in the list. You can add shortcuts. So this is kind of a cool feature. If your app has shortcuts, you can pick any of these shortcuts to also show up. Any shortcut from any app you can have show up in your list that comes up when you swipe right and you're looking at the alphabet. So if there's a shortcut you use a lot more than opening the app itself, then rather than going to the app and swiping right to get to the shortcut, you can actually have the shortcut itself show up in the list. So that's kind of a cool feature. Let's see, what else? Quick lock gesture. So that's so when your alphabet is there, you can double tap to quickly lock your phone. I don't use that all that much, but it is available for you. Google search, as I showed you, you can switch. If you don't have that, then it's just a search button. Swipe up to search, I showed you that. Music apps, I love this. You can select whatever apps you want that anytime your phone connects to a Bluetooth device, these show up at the top of your list. So I love that because now anytime I throw in my earbuds or I connect to my car's Bluetooth, those three apps, Audible and YouTube Music and Apple Music, show up as the top three. And that so makes sense because whenever you connect to earbuds or when I connect to my car, those are the apps I'm most likely going to be wanting to use as some of my music or audiobook apps. And so now those show up right at the top of my home screen anytime I'm connected to Bluetooth. So that is a really cool feature that I find very, very handy. You can connect other apps, really only two, the KLWP integration, and that's for different things. I don't use that one, but the Sesame integration I do use. Now, I don't love the way this integrates Sesame. It works, but it doesn't work as well to me as the Sesame app itself does. So I wish that, I wish there was another way. What I would like is that swipe up to search on the home screen. I wish it was a swipe up and you could select whatever you wanted that to do, because you could then have that launch maybe the Alexa built in, or you could have it, I would have it open Sesame Search app, because I like the Sesame Search app search better than the Sesame Search integration in here. But I do use it integrated. I don't actually use it that much because I don't love the way it works, but it is there if I wanted to use it. Suggest often used apps. Now this I love. This is the part that where on my home screen, after my favorites that I've pinned to my home screen, then just apps I use the most show up below that. So that's cool. And I have so many favorites that I don't get many of those, but if you only had 2 or 3 favorites, then the next 5 apps would be the apps you use the most, which is nice. Sort all apps list by usage. That's what you saw, where if you swipe and you go to the letter S, then it's not going to be entirely in alphabetical order. Once you get to S, the S apps that you use the most will be at the top. And then these are just tips. They give you tips to help you use the app. And then you also have look options. You can use icon packs. You can change the icon shape. You can choose the size of the icon. You can choose the font. And here you can do the wallpaper. If you want to hide your status bar on the home screen, you can. And you can hide the alphabet, which you see I have it hidden. It still shows up when I swipe in, but it doesn't show up unless I swipe in. I also hide the name of the apps because the icon is enough for me. I don't need the name. And you can choose what kind of theme you want, and have the text color changing based on the wallpaper. So depending on what wallpaper's on there, the text color changes. And so those are your look options, and that's really it. Now all these features are Niagra Pro. That is what I'm using. At the time of this recording, you can pay once. I think it's like $10, and then it's yours for life. Or you can do a monthly subscription. $10. If you like it and you see these features and you think, yeah, I like the way that works, you might as well just pay the $10, because then you just have it and you don't have to worry about paying again. But anyway, I really have enjoyed it, and I think it works really well. At first, I was a little skeptical, but as I've used it, I like the minimalism of it, and I'm still able to easily and quickly access anything I want using it, and it works really well. Anyway, that's it. That's Niagra Launcher. And that's it for this review. Hopefully you like this review. If you do, click that like button. If you have any questions about it, feel free to post it in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those as quickly as I can. And I'll have a link in the description below to this on the Google Play Store. If you're interested, you can click that link, jump over there. And that's pretty much it until next time. So have a great day.